Hello YouTube, I'm the Foam Witch, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made my take on a Doctor Doom mask. There will be free templates in the description of this video if you want to make this for yourself, so let's do this. I started by making that said template, wrapping my mannequin head in cling film and then covering that with masking tape. The sections I'd drawn for the base of the mask were then cut out. These were then cut out of 5mm foam. Now I've only done half the template, so remember that if you are making this you're going to have to flip the pieces to make the parts for the other side. Once the two halves of the mask had been made, they then got stuck down the middle to make one full piece. As you can see right here. Now it was time to build up the detail. Starting with the nose section, that is the triangle piece on the template, making sure to flip that template piece over to give the two sections that you need. When cutting this out, the long straight edge needs an outward bevel cut, the angled edge needs an inward bevel cut, and the straight edge at the bottom, the smaller edge, needs a straight cut, which hopefully is easier to understand with this bit of video. The angled edge having an inward bevel cut means that when you stick the pieces together, they stick together at a point. Then, not surprisingly, these parts got stuck together. For my foam builds, I use these incredible specifically for foam hot glue sticks that I got from the awesome Tig Supplies. I know I probably say it in every video, but these have been absolutely life-changing. I love them. This nose piece then got stuck into the triangle hole on the base. This part of the template then got cut out for the lower part of the nose, and all three of the edges got cut out with an inward bevel cut. Sticking this on the bottom of the larger nose piece and then aligning it with the base. I then added more masking tape to redraw my template to make sure everything was still in the right place, and using these next two parts of the template, this was going to make the bottom jaw part. The inward edge of the longer pieces that join up to the middle square were cut with an inward bevel cut, and that was so when they were glued together they gave this square angled piece. I added another 5mm piece of foam to the back of this just so that it stuck to the base a little bit better. Then this got stuck on. Now my plan for this mask was that it was going to look like the Robert Downey Jr. one from San Diego Comic-Con, however it went a little bit wrong and I couldn't get some of the shapes right. But instead of throwing it in the bin like I was going to do, I just carried on with it and kind of made it my own version of Doctor Doom. Taking the parts of the template that you've just seen, it was then time to work on the upper mouth part. Just like the lower jaw part, the inside edges of the longer pieces were cut with an inward bevel cut. And it was really at this point that the build that I had planned started to go wrong with the shapes not turning out how I'd hoped. This part of the template was then cut out for the cheek area. The bottom edge got cut with an outward bevel, while this edge I'm showing now got a very angled inward bevel. This was so when it got stuck to the base, it just stuck a little bit flatter than the rest. Here you can see how absolutely chaotic my workbench gets when I'm in the full flow of crafting. This is how it looked once the cheek part was added. Then this part of the template was taken to cut out the details for the eyes. This was cut out of 3mm foam so it sat a little bit lower than the other parts. And this is how it looked once those details were added to both sides. Moving on to this part of the template to make the brow area. On the RDJ mask, it has this kind of vein on the brow. So to try and replicate this, I drew that line on the foam and then cut the pieces out either side. These pieces then got stuck back together but stick in the middle, what I'm going to call triangle section, back slightly higher than the other two pieces either side. Hopefully here you can see what I mean. Once those two pieces had been stuck together down the middle, forming one solid piece, they then got a tidy up with the Dremel just to round off all of the edges. This then got stuck down on the forehead area of the base. And this is how it looked once that piece was stuck on. The detail piece that goes inside the mouth was then cut out, flipping the template to make this one piece, and then sticking it inside the gap where the mouth is. I then made a template part for this piece on the chin, again flipping the template to draw around it to give one piece. And once this was stuck on, the foam build of the mask was complete. I then wanted to add rivets to this, and I used my favourite thing for doing this, which is these googly eyes. Sticking them on one by one, and this took an awful long time. This was how it looked once all the googly eyes were stuck on. It looks really funny, if not a little bit cursed. It was then time to seal the foam before painting using my favourite sealer, this incredible black flexi paint from the awesome Thai Supplies. This just got brushed on and I used about 4 layers. This is how it looked once the flexi paint had fully dried overnight, and it was now ready for painting. I found this paint in my airbrush paints that I'd not used before, so I decided to give it a go. Spraying it through my airbrush, I sprayed on 3 layers of this paint. Once the paint was fully dry, it looked like this, and then it was time to start the shading and the weathering. Taking some black metallic airbrush paint, I just sprayed this on. I had no particular pattern in mind, I just sprayed it until I was happy with it. This is how it looked once that was finished, and then the painting was complete. To make it wearable, I just added some elastic at the back. And then, my friends, the Dr. Doom mask was complete. There are free templates in the description of this video if you want to make it for yourself. If you don't want to make it for yourself, I'm now taking on commissions, so just send me a message. If you are still watching this video, I want to give you a massive, huge thank you. If you've liked it, if you could give it a thumbs up like, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you could do that now, that would be incredible. If you have any ideas of things you'd like to see me make next, leave them in the comments below. All I've got left to say is, I'll see you next time.